As I sat in the darkness of my room, I couldn't help but think about the life I had been living. My parents had raised me and my siblings to snitch on each other, to report even the smallest infractions to them. They would reward us with praise and affection, but only if we were willing to betray each other's trust. I had grown up in a world where loyalty was a foreign concept, where family was not about love and support, but about control and manipulation. I remembered the day my little sister Kayla came to me, her eyes filled with tears and fear. She had been beaten by our parents, her body covered in bruises and marks. I knew I had to get her out of there to protect her from the abuse and neglect that had become a part of our daily lives. So I took her and left, leaving behind the only home we had ever known. We found ourselves on campus, struggling to survive. I worked multiple jobs to make ends meet, while Kayla tried to adjust to her new life. But our parents were relentless, determined to get Kayla back and continue their abuse. They showed up at my workplace, at Kayla's hiding spots, everywhere. We were constantly looking over our shoulders, waiting for them to strike. One day, Mason, my older brother, showed up at my work. He was the perfect son, the one our parents had molded into their ideal child. But something was different about him, something that made me think he might actually be on our side. He warned me that our parents were getting angrier, that they would stop at nothing to get Kayla back. I knew I had to be careful, but I couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, Mason was willing to help us. As the days went by, Kayla and I continued to struggle. We were running out of money, and our parents were getting closer. We couldn't keep running forever, but we didn't know what else to do. That's when Cynthia, our twin sister, showed up at our hiding spot. She had been sent by our parents to find Kayla, but something about her seemed different. She seemed scared, and her eyes told a different story. Cynthia told us that she had been forced to help our parents find Kayla, but she didn't want it anymore. She wanted to help us to make things right. I was skeptical at first, but Kayla's eyes told me that she believed her. We decided to trust her to see if she was really willing to help us. Together, the three of us came up with a plan. We would go to the authorities, to CPS, and report the abuse. We would tell them everything about the beatings, the neglect, the manipulation. It was a risk, but it was one we had to take. We couldn't keep running forever. Dr. Barnes, a professor at the university, helped us file the report. He documented Kayla's injuries and took statements from all three of us. Then, he made some calls and arranged for a CPS caseworker to meet us at the campus police station. The meeting was intense, but it was also a breakthrough. The CPS worker, Beverly, listened to our story and believed us. She promised to help us, to protect us from our parents. She would place Kayla and Cynthia in foster care, where they would be safe. But our parents didn't give up easily. They showed up at the police station, demanding to see Kayla and Cynthia. They were angry and threatening, but Beverly stood her ground. She told them that the girls were under her protection now, and that they wouldn't be going anywhere. As we waited for the foster care placement to be arranged, Mason showed up again. This time he had evidence. He had recorded conversations with our parents, conversations that proved they were lying about the abuse. He was willing to testify against them, to help us. With Mason's evidence, our case became stronger. The district attorney decided not to pursue kidnapping charges against me, and CPS expanded their investigation. They interviewed teachers, neighbors, and even distant relatives about our parents' behavior. Slowly but surely, our parents' facade began to crumble. They were arrested for trying to falsify their backgrounds to become foster parents, and their true nature was exposed. The court terminated their parental rights, and Kayla and Cynthia were finally free from their abuse. It wasn't a perfect ending, but it was a start. We still had a lot of healing to do, but we had each other. We had found a new family, a family based on love and support, rather than control and manipulation. We were learning to trust each other, to rely on each other. As I looked at my siblings, I knew that we would be okay. We would make it through this together. We would build a new life, one that was free.